Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of John. We're still looking at John chapter 21. We spent the last few days looking at verses 15 through 19, in which Jesus asked Simon Peter the question, "Do you love me?" Now, we asked it 3 times. Now, today, I want to spend a little time looking at the word used for love, because 2 different words for love are used in this passage. Now, of course, you know that the original New Testament was written in Greek. New Testament Greek has different words to express love. This doesn't really come across in the English translations most of the time, because in English we just have one word we use for love, generally speaking. But we have an interesting dynamic going on here. For instance, when Jesus asked Simon Peter, "Do you love me?" he uses the word agape. Now, in the New Testament, the primary Greek word used for love is the word agape. We're quite familiar with that. All of us have heard of agape love all of our time in the church. The New Testament poured the meaning of biblical love into the word agape. In the New Testament, agape is the highest form of love. It's the way God loves us and the way we are called to love Him. It's the love of full devotion and full commitment. Agape love. Jesus asked Simon Peter, "Simon, do you love me?" with agape love. A love of all of your heart, all of your devotion, all of your commitment. But when Peter responds, he does not use the word agape. He says, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you," but he uses another Greek word for love, phileo. It's where we get, for instance, Philadelphia from, the city of brotherly love. Phileo is another Greek word for love that expresses the love of friendship or the love of companionship. You are my friend. I love you as my friend. Yes, it is a word for love, but it's a little less than agape. Agape is that love of full commitment, full dedication. Phileo love is love we have for our friends and our companions, those we are close to. So Jesus says to Peter, "Do you love me with agape love?" And Peter responds, "Yes, Lord, I love you with phileo love." Maybe an English translation that gets close to this would say, Jesus says, "Do you love me?" And Peter says, "I really like you." Now, that's not the full meaning, I understand that, but it kind of gets close to it. I think what's going on here is Peter, still remembering those denials, he denied Jesus, can't bring himself to say agape, the highest form of love. So he uses a lesser form. It's still love, but he just can't say agape. He uses phileo. So the first time Jesus says, "Do you love me with agape love?" And Peter says, "I love you with phileo love." The second time Jesus says, "Do you love me with agape love?" Peter says, "Yes, Lord, I love you with phileo love." Then the third time Jesus changes his word. And the third time he asks, he says, "Okay, do you love me with phileo love?" So Jesus doesn't use agape the third time, he uses phileo. That's why it says Peter was hurt when he asked him the third time, "Do you love me with phileo love?" Because Jesus had stepped down to that lesser form of love. And Peter responds, "Yes, Lord, I love you with phileo love." I believe what's going on here, Jesus is calling Peter to the highest form of commitment. But Peter, remembering his denials, can't quite bring himself to say it, so he uses phileo. And so the third time Jesus says, "Okay, I'll meet you where you are. I will use phileo too." It's not that Jesus isn't going to bring him to the fullness of agape love. It's just he meets Peter where he's at. Jesus always does that with us. He meets us where we are. Even when we're not at the point yet of totality, we're not where we want to be, Jesus meets us where we are so that he might bring us to where he wants us to be. So since Peter cannot bring himself to say agape, Jesus meets him where he's at with phileo love. He says, "Okay, I'll say it your way." And Peter says, "Yes, sir, I love you with phileo love." Now really, Jesus is going to move Peter further along. He's going to bring him to that point of agape love, but Jesus always meets us where we are, and then he brings us to where he intends us to be. You don't have to be perfect to follow Jesus. You don't have to reach a stage of perfection. You just have to be willing to give him all you are right now. He'll meet you where you are. Even if all you can say at the moment is phileo. He'll meet you where you are and will bring you to where he intends you to be, to that fullness of agape love. He did it for Peter. He'll do it for us as well. Hope you join us tomorrow as we continue our 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of John.